Good evening. Welcome to Light of Life Mennonite Church. This is Thursday, December 3rd, 2020. And I thought I'd try to do a few Bible studies as we approach Christmas. I used to do Bible studies online last spring when we first started the lockdown, and then we got busy at work and I kind of left that behind. But as we approach Christmas, I thought it would be worthwhile to spend a little bit of time looking at the Christmas season. So as Thanksgiving is now behind us and we look toward Christmas, what do we think of Christmas? To many, Christmas is the most significant holiday of the year. If we had to choose just one holiday to celebrate, for most of us, or at least for me, it would be Christmas. Why? What's the significance of Christmas? Well, there's the music. What other holiday has many musicians putting out special themed albums? There's the gifts. Who can deny a gift to a child on Christmas? There's the parties, getting together with friends to forget about the day-to-day and have a little fun. And of course, there's the family gatherings. What better reason to travel, to eat too much, to laugh, to cry, to escape? For these reasons and many more, Christmas is very popular. And Christmas isn't just for Christians. You can Google lots of articles directed toward people of other faiths or people of no faith, giving suggestions on how they can celebrate Christmas season without Christ. But all that doesn't really tell us why Christmas. It doesn't get to the heart of the issue. Over the next few weeks, as we approach Christmas, I would like to invite you to a discussion on why Christmas. The discussion will center around why questions, focused on different aspects of Christmas. I will present a few thoughts each Thursday and Monday, if my schedule allows, and post them on the Light of Life Mennonite Church Facebook and YouTube channels. And I will invite you to respond with your thoughts. As we process this together, may we all come away with a broader understanding of the significance of Christmas and new ideas on how to underscore that significance. In this first installment, I would like to address the initial question of why Christmas. On one level, we all know that the heart of Christmas is a celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ a bit more than 2,000 years ago. It's a birthday party. We're putting on a huge birthday party for the person Jesus. We remember the circumstances of his birth, the angels, the stable, the shepherds, the wise men, and of course Mary and Joseph. That is good, and I hope we remember those realities this Christmas. But that doesn't get at the question of why Christmas. Why does Christmas matter? Why is Christmas significant? Why is it important to set this day aside to celebrate? Let me offer a few of my thoughts by going back to the beginning. Genesis 1 and 2 tell us that God created the universe and everything in it. That includes the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, the trees, the mountains, the rivers, the birds, the butterflies, the cats. And when God was finished, in Genesis 1:25, he tells us that God saw that it was good. God didn't leave well enough alone, though. In verse 26, tells us that God went on from his perfect creation and said, "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness." That is you and that is me. God decided that his beautiful creation was not enough. He wanted someone to share it with. Not because he was lonely or incomplete, but because of his love. It was God's love that caused him to create you and me. He wanted to share his dramatic, awesome, incredible universe with an independent being that would appreciate his goodness, his power, and his love. So he created you and me. From a common perspective, though, it looks like he made a terrible mistake. Humanity turned their back on their Creator, took advantage of his goodness and his love for personal gain, and proceeded to destroy all the perfection that God had created. That human decision to turn their back on God and take advantage of him sealed the fate of the first people, Adam and Eve. Their eyes were open and they hid from God. And for us, the story is the same. Because of our sin, we are separated from God and we hide. Isn't that what humanity does? We hide from God by focusing on other things. For some, it may be relationships. For others, it may be their profession, climbing the corporate ladder, making a name for themselves. Or it might be recreation or sports or perhaps just personal happiness. These are all things that people do to try to fill the God-shaped void that is left in their heart because they have kicked God out. And when that doesn't work, many turn to alcohol or drugs or other destructive behaviors, all in an effort to fill the darkness of this one-time perfect world that has been corrupted and is spiraling out of control toward a destruction that is unthinkable. All that is wrong in the world is the result of people trying to replace God with other things. And each of us is part of the problem. We might ask, why did God put the tree in the garden? Why did he allow us to be tempted? Why did he give us the ability to choose? Why didn't he protect us from all that has gone wrong? Those are interesting questions, and maybe sometime we should dig into them. But for this discussion, let's accept the reality of the situation. God allowed us to choose, and we chose to deny him and his rightful place. We chose instead to follow after things of this world. And as a result, we were destined for hell. The Bible tells us that the wages of sin is death. And that isn't a reference to physical death. No, it's talking about spiritual death, permanent and inescapable separation from God. And because God is all good, it means separation from all that is good. It is eternity in agony and suffering. We don't like to think about that. And indeed, many attempt to deny that reality. But it is the truth taught by Scripture. And that truth is what leads to the Christmas story. God was not content with the fate that we had chosen for ourselves. He wanted to, in a sense, give us a second chance. But God couldn't just ignore the fact that we had and we continue to sin. Sin has a cost that cannot be ignored. And God knew that we were incapable of somehow paying that price. The debt was too large. That price required a perfect sacrifice. And that is what Jesus came to be. Jesus Christ, the second person of the Trinity, God himself, chose, because of his great love, to put aside the glories of heaven, the perfection of his position as the Creator God. He chose to come down to us, to join us in this damaged and dirty world. He chose to be hungry and thirsty, to experience pain and loneliness and disappointment, to feel sorrow and loss, and all those things that sometimes make life hard for all of us. He chose to allow himself to be tempted to sin. And why did he do that? It was all because of his love. He loved you and he loved me so much that he chose to become one with us, to live a perfect life and to give that life as payment for our sin so that we could be forgiven. And that is why Christmas is so important. It's a celebration of Emmanuel, God with us, God joining us in the struggle, God showing us the way, God unlocking the door of our prison and giving us the opportunity to walk out as free persons, free to experience the glory of relationship with him. What a wonderful gift. Those are a few of my thoughts on why Christmas. In the comments section below, I've placed a couple of questions just to spur some conversation. I hope you'll take advantage of the opportunity and and post your thoughts. I'd like to hear what you think about why Christmas is so significant. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.